everybody. Welcome back to day 3 of the conference, second day of talks. And our first talk is the annual State of the Union talk, which is the tradition we have. So I'd like to introduce everybody to Gabriel, who is the current VP of Apache CloudStack. Over to you, Gabriel.
Hello, everyone. Thanks, Giles, for introduction. And thanks to all that's attended this presentation. Typically, in our CloudStack Collab conference, we have this presentation, the State of the Union. And the main goal here is to present stats, how the CloudStack is evolving. And also another particularity is that normally we have like 6 months, maybe 1 year from the last CloudStack Collab conference. At this time, we have a bigger gap. So we might need to do a few adjustments also because it's virtual. But well, let's start. So I'm Gabriel, I'm Brazilian, but I now live in the Netherlands. I'm a software developer at P6 which now is part of Versa. And I'm also a commuter, PMC, and this year the PMC chair of CloudStack, aka VP of CloudStack. Really quickly here, a bit of CloudStack Collab conference history. Giles already mentioned yesterday, but the first event was in 2012. And then we had, I think this is the 50th one. We have a couple of events in the United States, and then Europe, like Amsterdam, then Denver, Budapest, Hungary, Austin, Tokyo, Seattle, Dublin, Montreal, Miami, Montreal again, then Florianopolis, Las Vegas, and now it's virtual. So that's the first virtual ever, and it's going to be interesting to see how we will manage it this week. I think that this event being virtual is a big challenge, and we had to thanks to a lot of people, not just the speakers, but there is the sponsors. The sponsors, they have been betting on these events. They have been providing us all sort of input and help. For instance, ShapeBlue and Hublue, they've been organizing and hosting this company. There's Limbit, Starpool, XPNG, CloudOps, eWork, Versu, Indicus, Scale Grid. So a big thanks to all you guys. And this event is for sure being possible because of the help of all the sponsors. So I will ask again, please check more details at the exhibitors. Go there, check all details. And as Giles mentioned yesterday, you can go at the lounge, you can grab a seat and talk about whatever you want. And also if you can meet someone of the sponsors, try to understand more about the product, and maybe you can become a client or partner. So this is the main reason of us being here, is networking and get in touch with the community. So please don't hesitate on getting in touch with the sponsors. Thanks to all the speakers. We have 31 speakers at this conference, if I didn't miscount on anything. So big thanks, and they are sharing their time, they're sharing their experience, and providing a lot of insightful presentations. So, and I think that's also important to let people know we are here. So I would like to thank everyone that's attending this event, and also ask to go hashtag CloudStack, CCC2021, or go on Twitter and say a bit more of this conference. I think that it's always great. And one of the main reasons that we are here is for sharing knowledge, sharing experience. And so I would love to see you guys sharing a bit of this conference online as well. Okay, without that said, let's move to a bit of updates since the last CloudStack Collab conference. So as I mentioned, a lot of changes since the last CloudStack conference. Really busy with 4.14, 4.15 maintenance. We have 4.15.1, 4.15.2, and right now we are voting for 4.16 to be released. So soon we should have some news about the 416. It's still in both process and also preparing the announcements. So similar to 2019, where the conference was in Las Vegas, September, the last conference, we had the 413 in process, almost being launched in the same week, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And so we are pretty much in the similar pace. And also, Giles did a presentation about what's new in CloudStack. So I thought, why would I spend too much time talking about 416? Because there's already a great presentation there showing. And also, there has been so many things going on that it would be hard for me in 50 minutes to stop here and start mentioning one trend. So I think there are a few things that I cannot skip. For instance, the new CloudStack UI. We had the technical preview in 414, where users could build separately the UI and plug into the API and have a preview of this. And then 415, we already started to marketing the old UI as being deprecated, and the users then could patch already the new UI if they run to. So a bit of changes in the building process, but they could already build in CloudStack. And then for 15.1, we merged CloudStack Primate into the CloudStack project, and then now it's just out there. So it's easy, APD gets installed, and that's done. And I think that's great updated, and I couldn't simply pass through and not mention this because the old UI was serving us really well, but it's outdated now. We need to admit it. It's 9 years old, and it has been there for a while. And the new UI helps a lot. Just I think that it's just more like not just fresh and beautiful UI, but I feel a lot faster when I need to solve an issue. I go there, I right click on the virtual machine name, I right click on the host that the virtual machine needs. I can really quickly go and find the events, the issues, and solve. So sometimes I'm really quick there. I think that's better for me. Sometimes even in UI compared to the API, CloudMonkey or database to find something. So that's really interesting. And back in the old UI, it could take a bit more. So I think that's a great upgrade for the project. Apart from the CloudStack main project, we had a couple of upgrades in CloudMonkey. We had the 6.1 release in July 2020, some improvements on tags, details, and the way that the project is compiled. It's built actually, because then we have the GCC compiler, not more dependent for us. So also HTTP, HTTPS, web proxy support. So that's interesting. Then in October 21, recently, a couple of months ago, we had the 6.2, another improvements with arguments and auto-completion, verify user access to CloudMonkey configuration file. So I think that they might look small, but when you're using, especially the auto-completion, that's great. And I think that it helps a lot. And also display output in human readable format. That's great. We don't need to worry about computing giant numbers. Now we can see data like storage as Giga, etc. And then we had the CloudStack Kubernetes provider launched this year in August, the first release. And it's great for anyone who's interested with Kubernetes. It facilitates Kubernetes deployment on CloudStack and allows CloudStack to dynamically allocate IP addresses and the respective networking rules on CloudStack. So that's a big thing. I think that I couldn't pass this CloudStack Lab conference without mentioning. Apart from that, I think that's one of the reasons we go and continually presenting this in all the conference is to give us stats on the CloudStack project, CloudStack community as well. So for that, I brought some data that we as PMC, we have easy access for this, but it's not openly. But I think there is no issue in sharing how the project is doing in terms of how many main lists we are, how the main list is operating actually, sorry. So for the developers main list, we had almost 1,000 emails in the past quarter, and a quarter before 886 emails, so 8% increasing, but it's quite stable, didn't change that much. And we can observe also the number of emails and the threads, the authors. Normally it's twice the number of threads, the total number of mails. So we normally have this average then of replies, but at some months there is 3 times the number of mails, maybe 4. So, but it's stable and it's a good sign, because this is the mailing list where we discuss new features sometimes, or some recently we discussed, for instance, the adoption of the string library that we will be using, and that's something that we do in developers main list. It's open to anyone who wants to discuss. Then there is the users main list, and that's we had a big decrease. We had previous quarter in 743 emails, and the quarter before that we had almost 1,000 emails. So that's interesting. I was noticing why did this happen, but then I realized that the timing matched perfectly with something that started to change with the project. Nowadays we are using a lot of the issues in GitHub. And back in the days, we used the Jira tickets, and then we start to create Jira tickets. There is also the issues at cloudstack.apache.org main list, but that main list isn't used as well. So I think that the timing is perfect with the process of migrating all the issues to the GitHub. So we can notice this here. So we had a 50% increase on GitHub issues. And so people, instead of going to the user manual list reporting issues, they are starting to go at the GitHub to open issues, which I think is great. At least I like this approach as a developer, because then we can quickly in GitHub access the issue, and we can link this issue to a pull request or assign someone to solve this issue. And in main list, it can be a bit hard. Of course, we can link the pony mails at Apache with the specifically thread of the email, but that's not as easy as having a GitHub issue. And all the GitHub issues, they are public as well. Anyone can go there and listen and search for keywords. So I think it's as easy as main list, maybe even easier to search and compare. Sometimes I see an issue, I don't remember of seeing someone main list or GitHub. So I go to GitHub, I filter there, and I quickly find out someone already opened an issue. So I think that's the explanation of the decreasing, and that's not a bad thing at all. It's how we are starting to deal with some issues in CloudStack. Also, we had a big increase in issues being closed. I think because we, of course, start to open more issues, and also we had 4.15.2, 4.15.1, 4.16, all in this past quarter happening. So I think that also fits with this increasing. PRs open, we have a slight increasing, so it's still stable even with the 4.16 coming on. We already had a lot of pull requests going on, so that's I think a good thing. The project is stable. We have around 260 PRs open, 320 closed, so that's a good thing. And we have a lot of new commits. These commits, they probably have something to do with the new UI, and also the new projects. There's the Kubernetes, a lot going on. So so that's a reflection of how the project is evolving and what have been changing recently. So I'm really happy to see and all these numbers. I know the numbers, they don't give us all the insights of what's going on, but they give us some direction, and I'm really happy with them. And with that, people might be asking, okay, the project is healthy, but are there many people using it? Is it healthy in terms of community adoption? So there is a known users list. I think you all already know in the website, but I don't consider that really a number that we can count on because it's outdated. Unfortunately, we know that companies that use it normally, they don't go there and register their name. And a few companies, they also got out of CloudStack or they changed their business. And then they are not there anymore using CloudStack, but it's still listed. So I would ask anyone, if you are feeling okay to add your name there, please go and add. And in case the company is not using it anymore, also I think it's good to remove the name, and there's no problem at all. There's no shame on it, and to keep this list as more precise as possible. Another way of trying of measuring the adoption of CloudStack is checking the downloads. So what I did, I went to the download.cloudstack.org and I started to filter the logs. And I picked it since 2020 October to 2021 October. And then I could grab just specifically the CloudStack management package. CloudStack agent package, for instance, I don't think would be a good measure because we have hundreds of hosts sometimes in a single data center. So that wouldn't be really interesting. And CloudStack management gives us a better idea of how many CloudStack nodes are running. And I could grab then total of 217,000 requests, almost 218. And putting an average, of course, it's not like every month we have 18,000 requests, because there are a lot more when there is a new release. But this gives us an idea as if we had about 500 requests per day, 18,000 per month. And the unique visitors then is the IP address. So each IP address is marked as an unique visitor. And we had 26,000 and plus 2,000 per month on average. I'm not counting the fact that I know that there are other repositories. There is the Shablue repository. I didn't add it here. We couldn't make the add and do some comparisons. And a lot of companies, they build their own package and they do own changes. I know companies that do this. So this is a good number. I think this gives more insights than the known users at the website. I tried to figure out how CloudStack is doing in the world, and but this is not really reliable data because I got over 120,000 unknown source, but it's still not that much of visitors if we put in perspective, almost 3,000 visitors in KPS. But I couldn't see that Asia, there is a lot of hits and almost 5,000 visitors, so 5,000 different IPs that are downloading that package. And then in North America, we had almost 30,000 hits. And the number of visitors is pretty similar to Asia, even though it has a lot less hits. And one interesting thing is that Europe had 3,000 visitors compared to the others. So Europe is you can sum all the other continents, and it's probably the number of Europe visitors. However, the hits aren't that big. And Africa, South America, and Oceania, there isn't that much of hits and visitors. So you might be wondering, is there someone that we know using? And I would really like to hear some use case. But this gave me some idea, because normally we would then proceed to the use case, where we would invite a couple of friends, a couple of folks to the stage, and they would mention their use case. However, right now I can have only a pair of like me and just plus one presenting. That wouldn't really work that well. I think it is better for when we're having local conferences. So what I did, I took this as a chance to make something different here. And I started to go after some use cases to bring some cases around the world. So I could find 11 cases and people in South America, North America, Europe, and Asia. And they were really friendly. They shared a lot of details, and thanks to them, we can have some interesting use case. So these are the companies: RSAT, BrasCloud, INA, Cloud CA, BT, Extreme, NTT, eWork, KDD, Telia, and CSC. I know that a lot of these companies are well known for us all, but let's move with the Buenos Aires friends. So this was a nice surprise for me. I already heard of them using CloudStack, but I wasn't really aware. And so Ezekiel, McGovern, Fernando, and Nicholas Furman, they were really friendly and they shared a lot of details. And so they use CloudStack since 2013. So they are using for a long time. And they have a world-class tier 3 data center. They provide different types of computing services. And they provide also for government, for private entities. And they have about 100 hypervisors with 2 petabytes of storage. So that's an interesting case. And as experience, they share that they use it since since the National Data Center, which is the name of the project, became operational in 2012. We had tested different platforms and technologies in the field of cloud computing. Among many others, we can mention OpenStack, Virtualize, the Cloud Suite, and Cisco Cloud Center Suite. None of these platforms had the practicality, scalability, simplicity in deployment and management of CloudStack. So that's really interesting. They been testing in between in 2012 and then 2013 different options, and among all the major options that they had, CloudStack was the best. And so they continue with some additional benefits of this technology are its agnosticism with respect to computing, storage, and connected resource assigned to it, its multi-tenancy feature, and its versatility in the creation of different service offerings for customers. CloudStack has been presented as the best option as an IT service provider at the national level, allowing us to surveil protection of our information. So thanks again, Ezekiel, Fernando, and Nicholas. I really appreciate all the details, and I'm happy to see this case. I was born and raised in Brazil. I didn't live too far, but I had not much information about the RSAT, and I'm really happy that I was able to meet them. Then we moved to Cloud, a Brazilian company. I was able to reach Felipe Ross, the CEO and founder, and they are using CloudStack since 2015. They operate 3 CloudStack zones, and they will be launching another one, the 4th one, by the end of this year. So they are growing. And an interesting thing that Felipe shared to me is that next year, 2022, they will be expanding to 4 new regions in Latin America. So they are having multiple zones distributed in Latin America, and they have been using for a while, but in 1 year, they are going to pretty much double the size. And that fits really well with the experience that when I asked him, please share the experience, and he said, grow fast, go safe. That's simple. And I think that really depicts what they are doing, and it's what I think most of us like about CloudStack. So thanks, Felipe. Thanks. I really appreciate it. And moving on, Simon. I think you all know Simon. He's around for a while in the community. And so Education Networks of America, they are based in Nashville, Tennessee, United States. And Simon is Senior Director of Technology. They are a CloudStack user since 2012. They have multiple regions, and they are focused on education, healthcare, government. And Anna has contributed with numerous CloudStack features like KVM and Ceph. It's really interesting the fact that they are currently working in Tungsten Fabric with eWork. And that brought me attention because, of course, we've been kind of organically working together, but not like a more, how can say, how can I put that? It's not something coordinated. We go there, we review requests, we check requests, we approve, we test it. But in that case specifically, it's a bit different. They have 2 companies that are really separated in the world with different market goals. But they have a similar technology issue. They need to fix it, and they're working together. So that's something really interesting. And I think that's all about what these events are as well, to connect people, have networking, find partners, find same issues that we need to fix and fix together. So big kudos for Educational Networks American eWork. So moving on, Simon shared his experience, and he said that extensive API have allowed us to develop a customized user experience, ability to scale into different geographies, multiple hypervisor strategies to meet customers' needs, and strong support for automation, CloudMonkey, Ansible, and more. So that's really interesting. And another case of scaling in different geographies, and they scale all over the United States, and we all know that's kind of continent-sized country. So that's a big thing to have all the networking and understand that CloudStack is stable and is working even in such circumstance. Moving on, we had then another known people in person here, which is Pierre-Luc Dion. He's lead cloud architect at CloudCA, and they are based in Montreal, Canada. They have almost 1,000 VMs running. They have 77 Zen server hosts, and they have a lot of bare metal hosts as well, 85 in total. And that counts to 210 VPCs and 2 regions. And they develop also admin portal, web interface, and API for CloudCA, so CloudOps helps them. And they have the product named CloudMC. Another interesting thing is how CloudStack is easy to integrate. So they use the API of CloudStack and integrate, and then found some interesting projects that they couldn't have, and so for instance, they added services such as object storage to CloudStack. Moving on to the experience, so Pierre Ludian, he mentioned that Apache CloudStack provides us the opportunity to create a cloud offering that's reliable and feature-rich in a relatively short period of time with a small team. So the key technical feature of CloudStack has been the ease of installation and deployment. So our team has focused on how to operate a cloud instead of how to install cloud orchestration software. CloudStack supports multiple hypervisors, various networking deployments and scenarios, which make it evolutive and flexible. It offers usage reports, which is customers billing. CloudStack API is easy to use, secure, and community offers a lot of tooling such as CloudMonkey and cloud libraries such as CloudStack Go. So that's really interesting. Thanks again, Pierre-Luc, John, thanks to CloudCA. So now we are going to another trip. We're going to cross the ocean to London, United Kingdom. So it's the global headquarters of BT Group. And thanks to Maurice, I have some data here from their case. He's the Senior Manager Computer Hybrid Cloud Solutions at BT. And they are running CloudStack since 2013 with zones in Americas, Africa, Asia Pacific, Europe, the UK, and they deliver cloud computer service to global customers. Maurice shared his experience and he mentioned that CloudStack has enabled us to offer easy self-service, infrastructure as a service to our external customers, and the IaaS later to build it on for other BT projects. So they use it to external customers and they also build products there. So we have different cases already so far of companies that are geographically, they are very far, they have different goals, but they are seeing similar benefits. So that's really interesting. Then he shares also that the CloudStack has enabled us to, the new UI makes it really low entry for the new user, and the API makes it a powerful platform for the experienced user. That's another big plus from the new UI. I'm seeing other examples of people start to provide the new UI as actually their UI for end users, and also the API with roles. We can define different roles and then set which API common each user or the main user can use. And this helps to provide different roles and different experience for users. Equally important for service provider, the user, the B and API make it really easy for us to monetize the service. So they can cover it all with CloudStack. They have different products, they monetize it, and all that done with CloudStack. So that's a great example, and I'm really happy to have this example. I wasn't really aware of all these from BT. So really thanks to Maurice. I really appreciate it. And now we are going to stick around Europe for a while. We're going to a place where I know a lot, Specific Stream, and now part of Verso. And it's based in Lelystad, Netherlands. And I get here the experience from Wido Den Holland, the CTO. So we are using CloudStack since 2012, and it's distributed in 3 data centers with plus 200 hosts, 5 petabytes of storage, and over 10,000 VMs running production with Ceph, VXLAN, BGP, EVPN, and IPv6. Also, so I could get the experience, and we said that CloudStack has enabled us to grow and maintain a high scalable cloud. Being an Apache project also allowing us to contribute to the project without many barriers. So that's true. We have also different regions, different locations, and we scale a lot faster, and that's all big thing from CloudStack. Plus, we can contribute it to the project without barriers, so that's great. So thanks, Wido, and move on. It's, I think, a car trip really nearby in Germany. We can find the entity data, the German division headquarters, which is in Bielefeld. Sorry if I misspell anything here, in Germany. And Andre Walter, he is the VP Cloud Infrastructure Service, and he shared that they are using CloudStack since 2014. They have 6 data center locations and multiple hybrid clouds, and a total of over 1,000 customers, and they are focused also on SAP software and technologies. And Andrea shared that Apache CloudStack provides us with the ability to unify and simplify the handling of different infrastructure setups to fulfill our we manage our cloud strategy. So that's really interesting. I think that's a great example of another. I mean, we've been seeing different scales, companies that are using for 9 years, for 5, 6 years, and we are starting to find that the fact that CloudStack is simple and grow as and stable has been helping so many business to across the world. So that's great. Thanks, Andrea, again. I really appreciate it. Moving on to eWork, another company that we know is also one of the sponsors, and Leipzig is their headquarters in Germany. And Sven Vogel is the senior manager R&D and for cloud infrastructure. And he shared a bit of eWork, which is an IT service provider. In customers of eWork, they are European companies for energy, health, finance, and public sectors. And they aim to enable sustainable growth through digital services along the entire value chain. And to reach this, they have been using modern and future-proof technologies such as CloudStack. With that said, Sven also shared his experience. He mentioned that thanks to CloudStack, we are able to provide our clients from the system-relevant sectors of health, utilities, finance, and public, the foundation of modern technology and flexibility which they need to reach their future digital success. So yeah, CloudStack is stable, is 9 years old, considering the date was donated to Apache. But it's still being used to companies that are growing and aiming to the future. So that's really interesting. We have been adapting the project, we have been growing without losing stability and also fitting for the future. So thanks again, Sven. I really appreciate it. And we have now a trip to Latvia in Riga to meet Martin Spols. He's commercial director at Telia Latvia. And Telia Latvia offers a range of solutions powered by CloudStack, from enterprise level cloud solutions through self-service cloud video platforms. They have developed from a traditional telephone operator to a comprehensive supplier of services for customers and business. And that's another interesting experience. They have a bit of different set of products as well. And they share that the level of confidence that we have in our infrastructure, for a large part thanks to CloudStack, allows us to dedicate more resources on innovations, new services, and new segments. That's why we have media services in our portfolio, because we had time to invest in developing this segment. So that last part was something that really, I think we have been discussing, but I haven't heard someone talking this and sharing this. The fact that they didn't have to invest that much time with the infrastructure itself, they then could invest the development power to building a product, to building a business. So that's great, and I think that's all about what we are here working with CloudStack. Like move now is a big trip to India. You all heard yesterday the abstract presentation, and but here is again their example. It's a great example, and again I wasn't aware, so a big thanks to Abstract for sharing it. So they are the Common Service Central, and they developed a platform, the CSC platform, in 2016. It's built on open source standards, and it's proven technology which is reliable and robust. And their trajectory is designed on distributed service-oriented model to meet up the demand, which is in line to the largest technology trends across the globe. And they're using CloudStack since 2016, and they have currently more than 80 hosts in 2 locations and almost 600 VMs. And Abstract mentioning that CloudStack is a superb platform. It's simple, stable, and scalable to the core. We've been running for 5 years now and admire our choice as the overall cloud experience we get is thoroughly satisfying. CloudStack has really paid off on our implementation by its performance. So really nice experience. Thank you very much, Abstract. And I think that now we are moving to the last one, which is in Japan. So Tokyo, Japan. Thanks to Masashi Nakamura. He's the group leader, platform technology department at KDD's cloud environment. And they have the KCPS, which is KDDI Cloud Platform Service. And they operate in Japan with thousands of physical hosts. So that's a big case. And it was launched in 2012, and it's built in CloudStack, using KVM, VMware hypervisors. So they are big, they are distributed, they are using multiple hypervisors, and their main goal is to have 99.99% of time to their enterprise customers. And CloudStack stability and reliability enables them to do that. So let's go to Masashi experiences. He mentioned that as part of our due diligence process, we evaluated a number of products on which we could construct in KCPS, but eventually chose CloudStack. The biggest advantages of using CloudStack has its inherent stability, flexibility, and the fact that it is used widely operating network services. In addition, it can manage multiple hypervisors. So they use KVM and VMware, and it is much more mature product than many of its competitors. So thank you very much, Masashi. A great example, and I wasn't really aware of KDDI case, so I was really happy to be able to get in touch with Masashi. Moving on, we had a total of 11 cases. We saw the state of the project, the state of the community. So that's the time where we have some takeaway and thoughts for the coming years, and then we can have some questions and answers if the time allows. I think it will have some time. So moving on, takeaway. I think that this is the first virtual conference experience, so it is new for us all. But I'm really happy to see that we are being able to deal with this. We could simply have left this for the next year, and then we would have another year without conference, but not, no, we had this done. So thanks to Yvette, to Shea Blue, to all the sponsors, actually, they have been helping massively this to happen. CloudOps, they support with a lot of technical details, for instance, the website, and so big thanks to all of them. And also thanks to all the audience. I mean, it's a different event, so I know that we can connect more people now. There is no budget limitation. The schedule is a lot easier when we can simply go and open a cell phone screen or computer screen and watch it. So I think there are a lot of points in this, and a lot of plus points. Of course, it's not in person. It's a lot easier to communicate in person. I think it's fun to be in person. So there is some drawbacks, but I'm really happy with everything that we are seeing here. And maybe in the future we can have something like a mix. I don't know. Another important point is that CloudStack development is stable, and I think that the numbers that I showed, I hope they show this, but I'm there constantly in the project, and I'm seeing this, and I'm really happy to see that the project is stable. We have a lot of new features going on always, bug fixes, and so it is not like the project is going to die in time. It's great also to see the CloudStack being adopted across the world. I saw a lot of case that I wasn't aware, and I was able to share here, so I was really happy with this. And I think the numbers are great of download packages, but what really gives us some nice input is the fact of the experience, actually the experience, the quotes that we can grab and learn from, and they are really awesome to see people using CloudStack, appreciating its stability, flexibility, easy to use, and all the benefits that they are having with the CloudStack product. It's used by many tech-savvy companies, so we saw all kinds of companies using it, and some of them are really big, and some are growing really fast as well. So that's great to see, and I'm really happy. CloudStack is a great combination of stability with simplicity and easy to use it and deploy. So I think that's something that we can share. For the next coming year, I think that the future of CloudStack Collab Conference, they will be in local. But I would really like to see some options made to have a virtual plus in local conference. I don't know if that's possible or not, but I think that's something really interesting because we could have a broader audience. We could maybe mix and do a few things different to be more democratic, because we know it's hard for many people to go to a conference because there is the time zone that's different, but there is also the budget, the scheduling a whole week to travel is not easy as well. So I think that if we can mix in local and virtual, we might have a perfect conference. Um, Also, for the future, I think we need to improve CloudStack marketing. But I'm really happy with that because in the past year, we have been improving a lot. At least I think that a lot have been done. And thanks to Yvette and a lot of PMC members, commuters, and community, we are improving on that. We had, this is the second conference, but the first CloudStack Collab conference. But I've been on the online CloudStack European user group virtual, and actually this slide has this. Oh, and now I noticed that mistake on the slide. Sorry, uh, but that also worked really well, and I think that we can keep going in conference. And then if the conference is not locally, we can also have it virtual or virtual and local. Also, we are investing in social media presence. I feel that the project is a lot more active in social media, and it's great to see this. And also share companies use case. I mean, if you're using CloudStack, please share. Go online, go in social media and share, or go in conferences, and that's great. That helped us a lot. And also for the developers to see what is being done with CloudStack is always something really fulfilling for us. It's like it gives a different meaning to what we are doing, and I'm sure that we are all happy to see this use case. I think that the project is always working to be inclusive, open to new ideas. This is one of the main focus of Apache as well. So we are working on that, and we want to encourage new developers, new users, anyone to get aboard in the project and working with us together, provide new ideas. So we are always open. If you want to provide any idea in terms of conference, please ping any of the commuters or PMCs or go in user mail lists and present you. We are always open. And I think that another thing that I noticed and I was really happy was the fact that there is already cooperation between companies and open cooperation such as ENA and eWork. So I think that for the future, we should encourage cooperation between companies. A lot of companies have shared the same goals, they have the same issues, and if we can share, for instance, a company with 10 developers but has an issue that we need 50, for instance, just a random number. If we have like 5 companies with 10 developers, we would have a similar manpower. So maybe we can try to improve this in the future. And I think that we always need to share this case. Maybe Anna and Eero can share some of their case as well. So that would be awesome. I have this for today. Thank you very much for everything. And I would like to open also for any questions. And Giles will help with that as well. So thank you very much. If you need to reach me, you can go at gabriel@apache.org or simply send an mail in the mail list. And you have plenty of nice people to answer.
Thank you, Gabriel. That's a really good talk. Lots of questions and not a lot of time, so let's dive straight into them. And lots of different questions. So Harry has asked, with the use cases you talked about, have you got any idea or any information on what is the leading hypervisor that's in use? Is it KVM? Is it some other? What's your feeling around that?
That's a good question. I have a feeling that KVM, but that's what I think of the case that I talk with, etc. But maybe we need to do like some sort of forum in community. I was thinking maybe we need to understand more the community. We sometimes focus too much in developing for our case, but we are not aware of what people are doing. But my guess would be KVM. But I know that a lot of people also mix KVM with the server or especially VMware, because the different clients have different needs. So yeah.
And I've got a little insight on that. Sorry, I know it's your talk and not mine, but I see I see roughly the two leading hypervisors with CloudStack are VMware and KVM, roughly 50-50. And that a lot of that depends on an organization's commercial relationship with VMware in terms of what
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
paying. Zen Server was going down, but now we see XCP-ng support in. We're seeing a slight increase coming up on that. So that's in third place at the moment and climbing, but roughly a mix between those two. Yvette's asked, according to you, how could we update the users list? What could we do different there? Because we all know that known users list is horribly out of date. We haven't really paid a lot of attention to it. Have you any ideas around that?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I think that's for a long time we had the users list pretty much as an issue list. Anyone wants to raise an issue goes to the user list. But actually, I think that we need to be open and to anyone. If anyone has, I mean, as an user list, we can share use case. If someone have a great user case and wants to share, go to user list and say, ping us all and say, hey, I have this use case. I'm really happy with CloudStack, or I think CloudStack could be better this way and that way. So I think that we should somehow marketing the user list as being a list that can be used for many ways. Anyone who wants to partner with CloudStack users and could go there as well. I think that's because I start to realize how many issues were addressed to that list with the GitHub issues turnaround. So we had a more than 20% drop of mails there. So that's a lot. So I think that's something that we need to improve indeed.
Yeah. So Yvette has actually asked, she says the EU CloudStack community is quite active. And I would add to that, so is the US CloudStack community and the Asian CloudStack community. But in Latin America, we don't get a massive amount of participation. She's saying, how can we grow the community in Latin America? I know that's where you originate from, Gabriel.
Yeah. I was based in Brazil, and that's a good question. I know that there are a lot of people using CloudStack there in Latin America, but maybe the language barriers or there's something there. I don't know. But I think that would be great to somehow we start coordinating and open more CloudStack use. But I saw on the last CloudStack European group, actually, I saw a lot of Brazilians there, and it was interesting because I mean there is both there's a lot of interest there. So maybe we need just to organize somehow to begin the group. And I as Brazilian, I have a poor Spanish. I'm not good in Spanish, but I speak Portuguese, so maybe I can help somehow. And me and Nicholas, maybe I don't know, and that's something interesting to 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 start developing and working on.
Cool. And Wei has asked, what's the largest CloudStack-based environment as far as you know?
Mm, um, I think that from the presentation I get here, I think it would be KDD or BT. I'm not sure, but there are. I know that INA has a large environment. I think that Apple as well uses. I don't know. I know in Brazil we had some universities using as well, globe.com. But that's something that I think that maybe we could even find with a form, and maybe a form that people don't even uh, mention their names or the company that they work if they're not okay, but just the size of the environment and a few concerns that they have with CloudStack, a few details of the infra could help us to have a better insight of what the project is being used and how we can improve the project.
Sure. And this better be the last question because we're out of time. I'm pulling together a few questions here, a few similar ones, but basically, what do you see the future of CloudStack? Nicholas has said in the next 5-10 years, but where do you see CloudStack going?
I think that we are starting to get like in microservices, maybe with Kubernetes and like Docker, but there is still always room for the traditional hosting where we deploy virtual machines. I think that we are starting to have a like sort of a mix with Docker or containerization with virtual machines. But that's something I think that that's something that we need really to learn a lot from users because we are many times developers and we don't really realize the powerful of our own product, our own project, until we start to combining a lot of small persons and users to discuss. So that's something that I think we should have some tracks and some brainstorms, not just like the hackathon, which is code aimed, but some like a community aimed, something like marketing aimed. We should start to discuss more about this kind of topic.
Okay, we better wrap up there. Thank you, Gabriel. Everybody, please give Gabriel a big virtual round of applause. Next up on the developer track is Rohit talking about MBX, and the life of me, I can't remember what's on the other track, but I'll see you on the developer track, those of you coming.
Okay, thank you very much.